Hi everyone, this is Neel Raithatha, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for joining me in my latest video. We have here a patient who attended with bilateral, fully occluding earwax, and I'm commencing with this their right ear first, which the patient felt to be the worst ear of the two. And they've been using a lot more drops in this ear compared to the left. So this patient does suffer from chronic earwax impaction, and in the past she's had her ears irrigated, so flushed out with water, and one of the prerequisites to having irrigation or syringing performed is to soften the earwax for between 5 to 7 days, which then allows the water to flush it out. When they were using the drops, they felt their blockage had become more severe, and that's because the wax absorbs a lot of the drops. So a lot of the drops, especially if it's water-based, the dead skin cells that form up earwax, which is about 60% of earwax, they absorb the moisture, the water, and they overhydrate, which causes them to swell before they burst at the membranes and break down to little pieces. And oil-based drops can also cause and exacerbate the blockage, and that's because the oil adds another lacquer to the wax plug already. But again, the oil does soften the wax, so it's twofold. It can help soften really hard wax, but it can at the same time add another lacquer and increase its size. So quite often patients who use drops for a prolonged period of time, they report their symptoms to have worsened and exacerbated, making it more difficult for them to hear. And of course it can become painful if the plug gets too big and starts to compress against the eardrum and the canal walls. Now, this patient was really struggling to hear myself upon attending today. In fact, they were actually struggling to hear the suction machine, which is directly behind them. It was only until the end of the procedure they asked me what that noise was, and I said that was the suction pump. And the suction pump, in terms of decibel loudness level, I would say it's between 65 and 75 decibels, which is the equivalent of normal level speech to slightly loud speech. So it's not a quiet sound by any stretch of the imagination. So the patient was laughing and chuckling to themselves. They're going to have to learn to hear again because they found their voice to be extremely sharp, and that's because they were hearing all the consonants. When you've got a blockage of earwax like this, it tends to attenuate and reflect away the more high frequency sounds. The high frequency sounds are the beginnings and endings of words. They're the consonants, and they provide you with the clarity in speech. The lower frequency sounds, because of the longer wavelength of the sound signal, sometimes find a way to travel through the ear canal and vibrate against the eardrum. And the low frequency sounds are the vowels. They provide us with the volume in speech. So the patient could hear people, but not very clearly, and it's affecting their day-to-day life, and especially at work, they're struggling to hear their work colleagues, whether it's in person or via Zoom meetings. So we removed the majority of wax here. We can see the right-hand side of the eardrum. We call that the anterior aspect, the front part of the ear canal. But they've still got this lodged wax more posteriorly. And I've just put some olive oil spray just to loosen this last bit because it was quite impacted. So we can see 3/4 of the eardrum. We can see the posterior superior quadrant, which is the back left upper region, the anterior superior region, which is the northeast region, and we could see also the southeast region. And now we can see all the eardrum. We do have some residual sticky soft wet wax. This is not really significant. It's not going to affect their hearing, but I'm just hovering over to see if it comes away. We got to be careful. We don't want to touch the canal wall. I would much rather actually touch the eardrum than the canal wall. The canal wall here in this region is made up of bone and a very thin layer of skin, less than 0.1 millimeters in thickness. And that skin is just the outer layer of skin, the epidermis layer, which contains epithelial skin cells. And typically, skin has 3 membranes. You've got the epidermis, then you've got the dermis, which is the bulk of the skin, the middle section, and then a subcutaneous layer, which contains insulating fat and connective tissue. And so because the bony portion of the ear canal only contains the epidermis layer, it exposes the bone, And so if you make contact here, the patient will flinch and it will be slightly uncomfortable for them. As opposed to the eardrum, with the eardrum, it's got three membranes. You've got the outer membrane, which is made up of the same skin that lines the bony part of the ear canal. It's got an inner membrane, which is made up of the mucosa. And the mucosa skin lining is similar to the skin that lines the inside of our nose. It's not exactly the same, but it's not too dissimilar. It's a secretory skin cell. So that's the inner membrane of the eardrum. And you've got a middle membrane, which is made up of fibrous and connective tissue. And that's what gives the eardrum its strength, rigidity. But so if I had a choice of making gentle contact with the eardrum or the bony part of the ear canal, it'd be actually the eardrum. Patient, you would assume it's not the case, but patients find that less uncomfortable compared to the bony part. Now, that's not to say we can go in gung-ho. It's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if we make delicate contact, because that's all we ever want to do on the eardrum. We don't want to apply too much pressure. You can see there, remove the majority of the eardrum. Now, they've just got this layer of skin posteriorly. I'm going to start peeling this away. And this skin actually, unaware to me at the time, peels off all the way to their eardrum. So you'll see me do a bit of a skin peel. So now we're on the cartilage portion. The outer third is made up of cartilage. In this region, we can apply a bit of pressure on the ear canal. And that's because the cartilage, unlike the bone, it's flexible, it's not sensitive. And importantly, the cartilage portion of the ear canal contains a thicker layer of skin with those three distinct layers that I mentioned earlier, the epidermis, the dermis, and the subcutaneous layer. And all three layers together, it's probably 1 millimeter in thickness, so it adds like a buffer to protect the cartilage from severe impact. So just put some oil in there just to soften the skin a little bit more, and you can see we're peeling it all the way to the eardrum. It's revealing a brand new ear canal underneath. You can compare the skin in the ear to a snake skin, but in the opposite way. So as a snake sheds its skin, instead of the skin coming off the snake comes out of the dead skin. With our ear, it's the opposite way around. As the skin dies and sheds, our ears obviously don't come out of the skin, but the skin makes its way out of the ear naturally. And it does so in a conveyor belt motion. So your ears produce a layer of skin which lines the ear canal. That skin replicates itself, and as it does, the original skin gets pushed further away from the ear canal and the blood supply. And the outer layer of skin, the epidermis, it contains 5 internal layers, and we call that the corneum stratum, or the other way around, stratum corneum. And that outer layer of skin, as it reaches the surface, it dies and it sheds, and that skin should then start migrating sideways out of the ear in a conveyor belt motion. And as it does, any wax sitting on the surface will also be expelled. So the ears naturally evolved to become self-cleansing, but in some people that epithelial migration slows down or it ceases to exist, or the glands in the ear, the ceruminous glands and the sebaceous glands that secrete the oils that form 40% their uptake of the earwax become hyperactive. And the way they doctors and scientists discovered this epithelial migration, they actually got a marker pen and they plotted some points on the eardrum, and on a regular basis they followed up these patients to see what would happen with that black mark, and they could see that these black marks that were made on the centre part of the eardrum would ripple outwards, almost like when you drop a pebble in a pond. Those ripples, consider the ripples being dead skin, and the dead skin would ripple outwards from the centre of the eardrum to the canal wall, and then slowly out of the ear. And the way we know that is because those black marker dots were monitored in terms of their location, and you could actually see those marker pens making that journey out of the ear. And the rate of migration varies from individual and also from ear to ear sometimes, but it's between 1.5 and 3 millimeters. So if you think about an average ear being about between 2.6, well, the average ear canal is 2.6, but let's just round it off to 3 to 30 millimeters, so 3 centimeters. If your skin migration is at 3 millimeters a month, it can take approximately 10 months for skin that was formerly on the eardrum to escape out of the ear. So I've just removed a big plug there of the eardrum. You can see the southern hemisphere, but the northern hemisphere is still blocked. In terms of the severity of this blockage, I would say it's quite severe. There's a lot of wax on the tissue, and that's probably 2/3 of it. A third of the wax probably got suctioned out. And the wax just kept coming every time I went in, and there's more and more wax coming out. And the patient was quite overwhelmed and overawed by all the new sounds that they could hear. So it will take a bit of time to acclimatise. What we also noticed is when I removed the wax plug, also from the right ear, it had a cupping effect, so a vacuum effect. It pulled the eardrum away from the midline into the ear canal itself. So the eardrum looked bulged, but that means there's an increased internal cavity in the middle ear, and which would then subsequently reduce the air pressure. So there's more air pressure in the external ear compared to the middle ear. So they still felt blocked, and that can sometimes happen when you've got a significant blockage. As you remove the wax, this cupping suction effect pulls the eardrum away from the midline towards the entrance, which increases the middle ear volume and subsequently reduces the middle ear pressure. So inadvertently it creates negative middle ear pressure, and the patient still felt blocked, so we performed tympanometry, which is a pressure sweep test, and that resolved that issue instantly. So I'm just trying to get this little bit in the anterior recess. So it's very difficult to get access, especially because of how bendy the ear canal is. I did get a little bit of this, but it wasn't really causing a nuisance. But as soon as I felt it's potentially more risky to remove that than to leave it, I just left it behind. That's the patient's eardrum. That's all the wax. You can see some of this wax is really, really dark. It's oxidized, so it means it's been there for a while. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Take care, keep well, and speak soon. Bye.